My name is Bianca. Thank you so much for watching. Today I want to talk about fear. I want to make this video short and quick. So I want to talk about fear. Fear is an emotion or a feeling that is all too common to us as human beings. What makes us afraid? It makes us anxious, makes us terrified about things that we do not understand and so forth. There are so many things that we are afraid of as people. So what is fear? The basic dictionary definition of fear is that it is an emotion or a feeling that alerts us of impending danger or harm, So some might say, well, then in that case, it is something that is positive, right? Well, it is, but only when it is valid. And also, before I go further, I'd just like to mention that even in the Bible, fear is mentioned. So fear is a feeling and that comes naturally to human beings. But just because something comes naturally to us does not mean that it is good for us. If you notice, many bad things that we do as people are things that come naturally to us. We can talk of fornication, we can talk of adultery, we can talk of lying, we can talk of cheating, and so many other things. And these are things that can come naturally. Like you can find a 3-year-old trying to lie or trying to cheat, and things like that. So that tells us that not all natural things are good for us. If you're a Christian and you read your Bible, well, you actually find that in the Bible, most of the things that are rebuked by God are things that come naturally to us, because we are carnal, we are born with sin. So many of the things that we tend to do naturally do not benefit us and do not benefit other people. Now you will see that there are so many things that we are afraid of as human beings. And it seems like as the years go by and generations come and go, we tend to invent even more things to be afraid of. We are afraid of death, we are afraid of loneliness, we are afraid of loss, we are afraid of heartbreaks, we are afraid of poverty, we are afraid of losing things, we are afraid even of things and people that we do not understand, and we are even afraid of other people which are just like us. So there are so many reasons why we find ourselves afraid, why we find ourselves feeling this feeling of fear as the days go by. If you can, I would like you to take a piece of paper and a pen. Now I want you to list down all the things that you've been afraid of. Let's say maybe 3 years ago. Just think back, look back, and try and remember the things that you are afraid of years back. List them, and then against those things, write down if those fears actually came true or if they didn't come true. If they came true, I want you to write down if the way that you felt terrified, the fear that you felt is equal to the effect of the things that then happened when they came true. Or were you too afraid for things that were not as bad, that were not as terrifying, but because of fear you find yourself exaggerating something that might have been simple? Why I decided to speak briefly about fear today is you find that fear can cause us to lose many things if we do not keep it in check. Now, personally, I know I have been afraid of getting out in relationships because I was afraid. I was like, if I get out, I'm going to get my heart broken, and then I'm going to feel lonely. Who is going to want me after that? So many things that you tell yourself. And then after that, you find, well, I was really afraid of nothing. I'm okay, I'm moving on. It's possible to find someone else after leaving a relationship that you didn't think was good for you. So as people, we tend to give up on some things so easily when we're afraid. We give up on our dreams. We give up on things that we should do, relationships that we should get in, relationships that we should leave just because we are afraid. And the other thing that I've noticed, fear keeps us in a box that we know as our comfort zone. Now, if you know what I'm talking about, we like things to stay in a comfortable way, as long as we understand them, then we are fine. As long as we are hanging around with familiar people, we are living in the same neighborhood, same jobs, same colleagues, we are wearing what we used to wearing, eating what we are used to be eating, then we are good, we are happy. So fear tends to make us stay in a box of our comfort zone because we are afraid to get out. We are afraid to try new things that might be good for us, new things that might be better for us. We are afraid to believe things that we should believe in because we're like, no, I'm not used to that. So as human beings, we tend to be afraid of things that we do not understand. And that's another downside of fear. The other downside, like I mentioned before, you tend to stay stuck in relationships that you should get out of. And you also tend to be afraid to get into relationships that could potentially be good for you because of fear. You're afraid, you don't know what to expect. And there are some people that have turned down good things just because they are afraid. There are some people who have not started working on their dreams just because they are afraid. You're afraid, what if I fail? You're afraid of what people will say. There are people who are afraid of losing their loved ones to death. There are people who are so afraid of illness. Tom, you've been afraid of illness maybe since your mid-20s. Maybe now you're in your mid-30s. You're still healthy. You're still okay. So was that fear valid? So we tend to be afraid of things that do not exist, and we tend to exaggerate our challenges. So I just wanted us to put our focus and really think about it. Let's really think about it. Is our fear valid? Like, yes, like I mentioned at the beginning of this video, sometimes you might be afraid genuinely for things that, you should be afraid of. Like, there is really like harm or danger that is there, and fear alerts you of that thing. But I'm talking about fear that is invalid. I'm talking about fear that we imagine, and I'm talking about that fear that keeps us from achieving our dreams, a fear that keeps us stuck in spaces that we shouldn't be, fear that keeps us stuck in jobs that we know we shouldn't be in, fear that keeps us hanging around with company and friends that we should not be hanging around with. That is the fear that I'm talking about. So like I said before, I wanted to keep this video short. So as I conclude, let's just say I'm going to do a part 2 where I'm going to be sharing my experience with fear, some of the fears that I've experienced and how I have managed to overcome those fears. So you should look out for part 2 to this video. Sometime this week, I'm going to be posting it, and we're going to be sharing tips of how we can help each other to fight fear, to overcome fear, to disempower fear. Because if we give power to fear, remember, fear is just a feeling, and feelings are not stable. Feelings are always changing. That's why some even say that feelings are the playground of the devil. So we need to have our reason informing our feelings, not the other way around. You do not want your feelings to be influencing the decisions you make, to be influencing how you then reason and react to situations, because feelings are not stable. Feelings do not reason. Feelings can sometimes be silly. So look forward to the second video. And before I conclude, I just wanted to say you can go back and watch the first video that I posted last week. I was addressing the question, who is the devil, and why is it important for us to know who the devil is? And I also posted a link to an article that I wrote on that topic below, on the description box below that video. So go and check it out. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share if you found this helpful.